when I would think about it too much, I would just get so anxious about everything and be like, how am I supposed to do this? There would be times where I would cry and be like, God, how am I supposed to do this? Like, it feels impossible to be pregnant, but it's gonna take another form of strengthening to be able to get through this season, and that's where God's grace comes in. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I just thought of doing a quick little sit-down video using a light voice because my kids are napping and I'm pretty sure they're gonna wake up soon, so I'm just trying to be as quiet as possible. But honestly, I just want this video to be relaxing and calm and a safe place for you guys. If you are expecting a child, I wanted to talk about how I am preparing emotionally for my third baby, but I believe that this can relate to any number of baby that you're having. If you're having your first baby, if you're a new mom, if you've never had a baby before and you're expecting your first, if you're expecting your second, your third, your fourth, your sixth, I believe that this video will be helpful for you. I'm going to kind of get into how I'm preparing emotionally for the baby and then how things have kind of changed as I've progressed from 1 to 2 to 3, and just share some hopefully helpful tips with you guys from my experience. So for a little bit of insight into who I am and what number pregnancy this is, I'm currently 22 weeks pregnant with my third baby, and right now I have a 2.5-year-old and a almost 1.5-year-old baby. They're 14 months apart. So I had my first baby when I was 22, my second baby when I was 23, and then now I'm gonna have my third baby when I'm 25. So I feel like in this whole process of becoming a mom, of becoming a wife, of just becoming a stay-at-home mom and being pregnant 3 times in almost 3.5 years is 3 years or 3.5 years, whatever the timing may be on that. But being pregnant for these past 3 years has been completely transformational, and I feel like I've just changed so much on how exactly I'm preparing for baby number 3. I remember with baby number 1, I was preparing by just soaking all into my baby. I loved holding my belly. I couldn't wait, just daydreaming about meeting my little baby, and with that, I spent a ton of time researching the best clothes, the best, cribs, the best newborn supplies that I could possibly need, the best baby supplies that I could possibly need, and getting all of that ready. And now my attention has really just focused on my emotional aspect because I do have everything that I need, and honestly, I just have to take it all out and kind of set it up as the time gets closer. But because I have everything that I need and I feel more seasoned as a mom, now I'm able to actually sit down and mentally think and process and go through how am I going to handle having 3 babies, and I'm going to be having 3 under 3. I think for this pregnancy, it was really hard for me to kind of wrap my head around that I was pregnant because I was only, I believe, 1 year postpartum when I found out that I was pregnant with the third baby. And after having 2 babies 14 months apart, it really took a toll on me physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And while yes, God did strengthen me, it still took me a long time to process everything that I went through because I literally just brought 2 new humans into this world. And I finally, after being a year postpartum, felt like I was back to normal, or felt more like who I was. I was back down to my previous pregnancy, post-pregnancy weight, pre-pregnancy weight, and just feeling so much better. And I had so much energy. I was able to tackle everything that I needed to. Literally nothing was standing in my way. And then I found out I was pregnant, and my world was just kind of shocked. So for me, emotionally, it took a while for it to sink in that, wow, I'm actually pregnant. I actually have to go through this again. yes, it's a blessing that I get to go through this again, but like I have to shape and reframe my mind to get through this, you know what I mean? So after I found out about baby number 3, it took me a while for it to process in my mind and for me to like come to this reality that I'm having a 3rd baby. And honestly, it wasn't until like this week that I started to come to terms with it, because don't get me wrong, when I say come to terms with it, I'm so excited and blessed to have this baby, but emotionally it was hard for me to wrap my head around how I was going to take care of and raise 3 babies. And if you're a mom, if you know anything about raising kids, it's not easy. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication. And before getting pregnant, I thought I was in like a super good spot in life where I felt like I was able to make YouTube videos consistently and take care of my kids and run the household. And then I got pregnant and I was just like, whoa, surrender. And God was just teaching me like, yes, you might have gotten comfortable, but time to get uncomfortable again, because here comes a 3rd baby and this is my will for you and this is what I have for you. And I personally believe that every single baby is from the Lord. I do not believe that there's any baby that is not sent from God. I believe that if you are pregnant right now, or if you are born today, that God designed you to be born this day. And that's just my understanding. And my personal belief is that when I got pregnant, I believed that this was a gift from God, sent straight from God. And I had to surrender with it. I had to be okay with it, because if it's a gift from God, it's going to be good. And He's going to give me all the grace and all the strength that I need. But it took me a long time for my mind to get okay with that, because it is a lot. And as a stay-at-home mom, I'm the primary caregiver of all of my kids. So I don't want to say most of the weight is on me, but in a sense it kind of is, because I'm literally caring for them 24/7. I vividly remember there being days where when I would think about it too much, I would just get so anxious about everything and be like, how am I supposed to do this? There would be times where I would cry and be like, God, how am I supposed to do this? Like, it feels impossible to be pregnant and even still run the household. When morning sickness hit, I wasn't able to take care of my kids. I literally had to lean on God, and I had to lean on my husband. And thankfully, our circumstances were perfect, and that Cal was able to be here more, and we got through how we got through it by the grace of God. But it's not easy, and it was hard for me. It was really hard for me to be like, I'm pregnant and I love this baby, but it's going to be very difficult to not very difficult, but it's going to take another form of strengthening to be able to get through this season. And that's where God's grace comes in. And I just remember there would be times where I would just be sad and being like, Lord, why did you choose me? Like, how am I supposed to do this? And all the while I know this is a gift, but I'm like, Lord, I don't know how, like, truly, how am I going to do this? And He's just been reminding me and telling me, like, He's strengthening me, right? The moment we find out we're pregnant is not the day that we give birth. We have time, we have grace, we have the ability to grow, to learn, to get everything in line, to get everything organized. And when you're going through, maybe like I did, a hard season of morning sickness, you have to trust in God. You have to rely on Him. And it's okay if your world is completely turned upside down, because you are forming a human in your body, and this is just temporary. And I had to tell myself that again and again and again, because it was not easy. It was not easy. If I had it my way, I would have probably waited however much longer. I would have waited. I would have just built my YouTube channel up. I would have still been trying to raise my 2 kids, but God's way is perfect, and He knows everything that we need. And now, looking back, I would not change a thing. I'm so excited to welcome this baby in this world. I'm so excited that I am pregnant, that I get to carry this baby. And God is just strengthening me day by day. The biggest thing on how I'm emotionally preparing for baby number 3 is just giving it to God. Giving it to God. Because He knows our finances. He knows our situation. He knows that we need a bigger car. We don't have a car that can fit 3 kids. We don't. We don't have a house that can fit 3 babies. We don't. But I'm giving it over to God. And I choose to give it over to God, because if He gave me this baby, He's not going to just leave us here. He's not going to leave us stranded. He's going to give us opportunities and things in our path that will set us up for the utmost success and grace. And I truly firmly believe that. And I have to renew my mind every single day. And I have to give it to Him. I have to give it to Him, because otherwise it's so overwhelming. Because when you have a child, your heart is literally like ripped out and put into another body. Like, that's what it feels like emotionally, because you're so invested into your kids. You want the best for them. You want to always make sure that they're fed, that they're healthy, that they're taken care of, that they're learning, that they're growing, that they're thriving, that they're X, Y, and Z, doing all of these things. And it's emotionally hard, because with every kid, your love grows, your emotions grow, like everything grows. Like, you have to worry about another child and raising them well and doing all of these things. So I've just been having to trust in God and rely on Him in this entire season and this entire process. And I know that it was His will for me to have these 3 kids, and I'm so glad that I'm the vessel that He used to birth these 3 kids, and I'm so joyous. But I would be lying if I said it was not emotionally hard at some points, because we're all human. None of us are perfect. We have to grow. We have to change. We have to evolve. No amount of growth feels comfortable. No growth feels comfortable. It hurts. It's painful. Some things are going to have to die in you, and habits in you that are going to have to die. Like, you're going to have to become more diligent, right, to take care of 3 kids. God is going to have to show you how to continue when you just feel like sleeping, or when you don't feel good. You're going to have to continue, and you're going to have to keep going, because your kids need you. You need to show up for them. You need to show up for your husband. You need to show up for God. So the biggest thing is literally just giving it over to God this time. And I want to encourage you guys, even if you don't have any other kids, to give it over to God. Because I know when I had my first, I didn't really prepare emotionally as I should, looking back. Because after I had my son, my world was rocked. Like, so rocked. And I just remember being very anxious, and like, even getting through the whole birth and labor was a little bit chaotic, because I wasn't trained mentally and emotionally for having a baby, or as much as I wish I could have been. But what I learned through that is that I need to trust in God no matter the circumstance, no matter what happens. I need to trust in Him, and that He has the best for me and for my baby, and that if He is here knitting my baby in my womb, He will continue to do so. Once they're here, He will give me the power to get through labor, to get through birth, and He is the only one who can do that. I can't do that. So that's where the freedom comes in, because I cannot do anything. Apart from Jesus, I cannot do anything. I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good person. I'm not a good wife. Far from it. Without God. So the only way that I'm able to raise my kids to be emotionally ready to welcome a 3rd baby in is by casting all of my cares on God, by casting every thought that I have, every anxious thought that I have, and giving it to Him. And another practical way that I've been doing this is I've been putting on Christian hypnobirthing, because I have been very busy, and pregnancy is something that I've kind of neglected in a way, because through raising toddlers in the house, I just kind of forget that I still have a human in me. I still have to birth a child in 18 or so weeks, and sometimes it can just, like it doesn't become reality unless you really think about it. Like today when I went to the ultrasound, it became reality, right? Like I saw the child, I saw the baby, and it's like, wow. Or like when you hear the heartbeat on the Doppler and it's like, wow, there's life inside of me. Okay. So yeah, giving it to God, trusting in him, and listening to the Christian hypnobirthing. So if I wake up, I've been having like, I know this is common in pregnancy to like wake up in the middle of the night, but if I'm waking up in the middle of the night, I'm putting on a Christian hypnobirthing. I'm intentionally thinking about pregnancy. I'm intentionally thinking about God forming this baby. I'm intentionally thinking about God strengthening this baby. I'm intentionally speaking life over me and this baby and the labor process and the newborn phase and everything that comes with it. So intentionally speaking life over my pregnancy, over my baby, and intentionally like thinking about it and meditating on it and seeing God's hand and seeing his goodness and his favor follow me, because it will and it is. And I encourage you, if you are pregnant, if you just had a baby, to speak life-giving affirmations over yourself, to listen to Christian hypnobirthing, whether this may be your first child or your 15th child, right? Like, do this and know that God is with you and he will strengthen you. And that's truly the only advice I can give, because if I didn't have God, I would not want to be here. I would be literally scared. Like, I have no strength to be a mom, as crazy as that sounds, without God. Like, I need him. I truly need him every single day. And one thing that the Lord has been showing me is like, I need his word. I need his word, because without it, I'm very snippy. I'm very like fleshly, and I just need to have my mind renewed every single morning. And that is what gives me strength. And the only reason that I've been able to get that revelation is because I've had so many days where I don't spend time with God, and I'm seeing the fruit of not spending time with him in my life. I act out in anger, I act out in all of these different fleshly attributes, and it's quicker. My flesh is quicker to strike, you know? So after all of those days of having just fleshly moments, God has shown me, you need me. And my spirit is yearning. My literal being is yearning for God every morning. And I'm like, God, I need you. Even if it's just to read a chapter before I wake my kids up in the morning, or to meditate, or to sing a song to him, or journal a prayer, journal whatever is on my mind and give it to him over. That has helped me tremendously. And I've only been doing this for a short while, but God has just shifted and changed my perspective, and I hope and pray that he can do that for you too, because truly, if you are a new mom, we need to know that yes, we have all these innate abilities as moms and as mothers, because God has programmed us to be this way and do that. But without him, we are nothing, and without him, we can't even show up to be the mom that he has called us to be, or that he has made us to be. So leaning on him, emotionally renewing your mind on the word, Christian hypnobirthing, and all of these things will help you renew your mind and emotionally prepare for baby number 3 for me, or whatever that may be for you. And I hope this video helps you guys. I love you guys so much. Let me know in the comments if you're pregnant. How far along are you? How many kids do you have? And I will see you guys on the next video. Love you guys. Bye.